happy, fun, determined, an endurer. Like that's what I think about when I think about her, is like endure. We got the call back about 3 weeks afterwards from the 17 weeks can. Or there was a shadow on her heart, so it didn't really look like right. It didn't look really wrong either. But the way the shadow worked, they wanted to check it again, and then when they checked it again, that's when they found out that the left pumping chambers never developed, and she had what is called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. For her, we knew that she was going to have a series of surgeries, and it was going to have to be something that was dealt with in order for her to live. Lila was born on July the 27th, 2017. My first day of movement was actually August 1st of 2017. Two days later, she had her first open heart surgery in a series of 3. And so I spent my first 17 days working with movement on the 4th floor of Children's Hospital in the CVICU. They have to be intubated, particularly when they're in and out of surgeries. And so because of that, she never really developed the muscle memory to swallow. She didn't breastfeed, she didn't have bottles. We tried, it just wasn't in the cards for her. Because of that, something as simple as drinking water, chewing food and swallowing food, as she got older, was gonna be a challenge. And so, she needed a controlled environment. She needed something where people were kind of medically trained and had that eye and had that knowledge to be able to care for her in the event something went wrong. We were turned on to the Bell Center. It's been in Birmingham for years.
During the first year, we saw her as a child at the Bell Center who had a team and saw each therapist. And as Lila was approaching that 18-month-old mark, we were still working on feeding, and that was really the only area that we were working on. But we had just fallen in love with Lila, and so we started thinking, well, maybe she could just stay and be a peer model in our class. When Lila came in as a peer model, we had her in a class that was designed for kids who have hearing impairment.
She was able to help them learn to speak, because a lot of those kids were just hearing for the first time, right? And so she was able to help with that, and then in turn, she got to eat lunch with them. And so they didn't have an issue eating and drinking. And so it normalized for her eating by mouth, and it really kind of became this contiguous care system back and forth that they all kind of learned different things together.
I do think that one of the amazing things about the Bell Center is the wide range of families that we serve. I think what you find is that children who are at risk for delay come from all sorts of families. They come from every economic background, every social background, and at the Bell Center you can really see that in the children that we serve. But the point is that at the Bell Center we have never turned a child away who was unable to pay the fees that we charge.
There's not a lot that I know for sure, but one of the things that I know for certain is that my daughter would not be thriving and be growing and advancing the way that she is and getting herself ready for this 3rd surgery coming up if it was not for the Bell Center. They're solely a nonprofit, and they function off of donations and grants, and when it's time, how do you not want to give back to somebody that helped give your kid a fighting chance?
We are really excited about these funds for Movement Mortgage. We're planning to use a portion of the funds in support of the Munch Bunch program, which Lila spent a good amount of time in, and then we're going to put the rest of it to use in our scholarship fund to ensure that other families have the opportunity to bring their children to the Bell Center for our services.
Since I started working almost 5 years ago, it's the thing that I'm the most proud of. I think it's been a thing that will help kids, it will help a lot of kids